Good day, everybody. Welcome back to Visa Prep with Excel with Amy. We will start at 10 minutes mark. I'll share the link to everybody on WhatsApp so people can join and then we can start. I'm sharing the link on WhatsApp so we can start. Yep. Welcome to everybody. I'm still sharing the link. Give me a second. We'll start in a minute. All right. Hi everyone, welcome back to Excel with Amy. I'm going to share the link for StreamYard. Let's be quick as possible. If you want to ask your questions or do a mock interview, you just join the link, okay? Yep, I've dropped the link and I've pinned it. So let's start. Once people join, I can start interviewing them. Yeah, Ignatius, how are you doing? Ignatius. Ignatius, are you ready? All right. So another person joined. I'm going to interview them. I can't hear from Ignatius. Yeah, Ignatius, are you ready now?
Yes, please, I'm ready.
All right, tell me about your funding.
Okay, so I've been awarded a 70% merit-based scholarship because I did so well in my undergraduate degree. Additionally, my father will be covering my deficit of 52,000 US dollars. He works as a
When when
systems
when you say you've got a merit base of what amount? Like,
41,000 US dollars.
so that's 52%.
No, it's 70%.
Why is it 70%? And then you have a deficit of 52,000. What's your total cost of attendance?
Okay, so my school fees is 59,000 US dollars, and um my health insurance, and then my feeding and all that, rent and all that is is almost $38,000.
So do you know the amount for health insurance? Okay, let's say 38,000.
Yes, please.
So you got a scholarship of how much?
Oh, $41,000.
So you got a scholarship of 52% of your tuition, right?
No, 70% of my tuition.
Okay, so 70% of your tuition. The
Yes,
remaining
please.
of your tuition and living expense. So you want to say it like that. I was fortunate to have a merit-based scholarship of then you say the amount 42,000, which covers 70% of my tuition. The remaining 30% of my tuition and living expenses will be covered for by my dad.
Okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
please make that correction because the deficit is very high. So if you say for the 70%, like in the visa assessment, maybe they are expecting a very small deficit, so they might not understand what you are saying. Do you get it?
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's go on. Tell me about your program.
Okay, so my program is my program is Global Health Policy and Health Management at Brandeis University. I'll be taking courses in. I'll be taking three main courses. The first one is International Health Policy Analysis, and then the second one is Health Economics in Microeconomics in Health. Then the final one is starter data for program analysis. It's a 1 year accelerated master's degree, and yes, yes, please.
Okay.
Oh, I should take
Uh,
it again.
so with the
Uh,
program, you did well with mentioning some of the courses and the duration of the program. You also want to state if it's a research based or um if it's research based or another thing. What's the other thing? Research based, thesis based, capstone based, right? So you want to mention
okay,
those things, so you have to know them. And so my next question today, everybody gets 4 questions, and we move on. So my next question is why this program?
okay. Um, okay, so so whilst I was working as a volunteer with Global Brigade Ghana, it's an NGO, it's a NGO, it's a US sponsored NGO in Ghana which offers medical aid to underserved communities. I had a chance of meeting students from Brandeis, and with discussion with them, I decided to pursue the health policy program because as a practicing dentist in Ghana, there are out of the
Not sure, can you start again?
okay, uh, okay, so all right, please can I start?
Why this program? Yeah.
Okay, so okay, please let me a second,
When
please.
is your interview?
20th.
Hey, even with me, I feel like you are tensioned.
Okay, okay, let me just take it again.
Yeah, take it again. Take your time.
Okay,
Like, we are not here to judge. We are here to prep to make your stories better, right? So what if, like, the worst is the story is not good, and then maybe you will get feedback. So just chill.
okay, okay, sure. All right, so as a practicing dentist, there have been a lot of times that I've had to attend to emergencies that came from very distant regions because there were no dental facilities in those regions. And meaning there's a clear gap in the health policies of my home country, Ghana, particularly in the field of dentistry. And so I took it upon myself to study global health policy and management so that I'll be able to take up the role as a health policy analyst in the policy planning, monitoring, and evaluation department of the Ministry of Health upon my return, so that with the knowledge and skills that I'll gain, I'll be able to impact my country positively in making a sustainable health policy.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, and then your last question: convince me to approve your visa.
Okay. Okay. So with this degree, I'll be able to take up a role as a health policy analyst in in the policy planning, monitoring, and evaluation department of the Ministry of Health, and then the degree will equip me with knowledge. So the course I'll be taking with the degree, with the economics in health, will help me to know the economic factors that affect health and be able to make policies that are economically sustainable in my country. The international health systems will also help me know the best systems that can be adapted to improve the health systems of my country. And then finally, the data program and data analysis would help me to analyze data to make evidence-based decisions. So approving my visa would help me be able to provide better care for my patients upon my return.
Okay, yeah. So Ignatius, my feedback is you sound very tensious and you take pauses. So if the person, like, I was trying hard to connect to the stories, right? But you want to make sure that it's okay. Like, the worst thing that can happen is what? And then you take your time to answer the questions. You have the stories right. Your stories are good. For that, I don't have any feedback, but it's just the delivery. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any questions? Okay. Goody, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Good evening.
Goody, how are you doing?
I'm fine. And you?
4 questions. How are you funding your studies?
Oh, okay. I have a 2000 scholarship, and the 19,880 deficit will be
A
sponsored by
deficit
me.
of how much?
19,880 will be sponsored by my mentor. Her name is Chiwende Odunze Constance. She has paid for my first semester of $6,012. She's a nurse by profession and makes an annual income of $144,000. I've known her for over 6 years now, and she has been the one that has sponsored my studies. And she's willing and committed in helping me sponsor me through my studies in the United States.
All right. Does your sponsor have children?
No, she does not have children, but she's married.
Okay. What are your plans after school, considering that your sponsor lives in the US?
Oh, once I'm done completing my associate degree in nursing, I'll be returning back to Nigeria to take up a role at Lifesavers Hospital, where I'm currently working as a biochemist, to take up a role as a nurse, using
Um,
the experiences I've gained at SUNY Ulster.
so you are working as a biochemist. It means you have experience in biochemistry. What what degree do you have in biochemistry?
I have a bachelor's degree in biochemistry.
All right. So why are you going for an associate degree when you could go for a bachelor's of nursing degree?
Okay, bachelor's degree in biochemistry has given me the prerequisite skills and knowledge to start up my nursing career. So an associate
Are
degree
you
will,
saying that associate degree cannot give you the prerequisite skills you need?
yeah, it can, but an associate degree will enhance me with the necessary experience, the hands-on clinical experience, and it will make me spend lesser time in the United States. I already have a bachelor's degree, and I have the necessary skills and knowledge that I need for my nursing program. So an associate degree would then enhance me with the necessary hands-on clinical experience that I need for my nursing program.
Okay, that's cool. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do. I was going through on one of the transcripts, and someone was going from a bachelor's degree to another bachelor's degree. So the visa officer started asking, why not masters? Like, I've tried to run find a concrete answer to that, but I'm unable to. I don't know if you have any idea or
Yeah,
something I could say.
I think we've spoken about this your situation before, and I've given you instances before. So it's just same thing. Like I asked you, why not a bachelor's degree but an associate degree? You told me that but associate degree will give you the skills you need and it will help you come back to your home country on time, spending less time in the US. So what other reason are you looking for?
Okay.
Mm,
Okay. Thank you very much.
no problem. Abubakar, are you ready? Oh, Suzanne. Suzanne, are you ready?
Yes, please, I'm ready.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine. You?
I'm good. Susanna, what's your funding story?
I was awarded a scholarship of $4,000 that covers 29% of my tuition, and my remaining deficit of 23,200 will be covered by Mr. Joseph Kwekumenya, my maternal uncle, who has been my primary sponsor ever since my father abandoned me. He earns an annual income of $50,000 from his business. He owns Longin Enterprise, a company that deals in a large-scale importation and distribution of automobile spare parts and second-hand clothing in Ghana.
Susanna, does your uncle have children?
Yes, he has a son whom he sponsored to read MBA in Germany, and he's currently back in Ghana as an assistant director in Fantia Kwasao District Assembly, a local government service here in Ghana.
What if your uncle withdraws his financial support while you are located to the US?
He has been my primary sponsor ever since my father abandoned me, and he promised to sponsor me further my studies if I obtained a first class in accounting, out of which I graduated as the best graduating student with a GPA of 3.86 over 4.0.
All right, Susanna, what's your plan after school? Your last question.
After completion of my program, I'll return back to Ghana and take up the role as an assistant lecturer in the University of Ghana, where I currently work as a teaching assistant. Also, I will set up a mentorship club in the university, and this will be channeled to providing students with career and coaching advice, and also linking students with professionals in the accounting field.
Yeah, I think I like your stories. They are really impactful. Yesterday we talked about your comeback story being impactful and not just for yourself. So I like the fact that you're coming to teach and a mentorship program is planning to impact other people. That's a good one. So you have your uncle's bank statement and support letter, correct?
Yes, please, I do.
Okay, okay.
Thank
That's
you.
good. Clinton,
Yeah, hello.
Clinton. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
how are you
here.
doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Clinton, what's your funding story?
All right, so I've been awarded a scholarship of $25,000, and then I have a personal fund of 12,642, and I've also secured Empower loan, which is $45,000 to support my education. I also have my company has granted me study leave with pay, with
Okay,
where
so
I
Clinton, let me cut you in. How many forms of sponsorship do you have?
Okay, so I have on my I-20, I have my personal fund and then Empower loan.
All right. So your studies is being funded in two ways, but the way you said it made me seem like you had a lot more multiple sources of funding. So I want you to take it again and then explain it better. Okay.
All right,
So what's your funding story?
all right. So I've been granted a scholarship worth $25,000 out of my course of Athena, which is 56,833, and I've also secured Empower loan to support my education worth $45,000. I've also have a personal fund worth 12,542 Ghana
How
cedi.
much is your personal fund? I didn't hear that.
12,642.
So how are you going to make your student loan repayments while you are in school?
All right, so my current company has granted me study leave with pay, of which I'm supposed to come back and serve for 5 years, and I currently receive 20,000 Ghana cedi a month, of which I'll be using 5,400 to service my loan
All
repayment.
right. So how much is your steady limit pay? If you say $20,000, 20,000 cedis, how much is it in dollars?
That is $1,350.
And how much is your student loan? So you want to state this amount in dollars. It's
Okay.
more advisable. If you want to use the cedis, that's fine. You are getting a steady limit pay of 20,000 Ghana cedis every month, which is equivalent to $1,300. Out of the $1,300, my monthly student loan repayment is $500, and so I'll be using $500 from this amount of money to make my student loan repayment. Your funding story is a huge part of your visa getting approved. So you don't have the visa officer, you don't have to let the visa officer ask you, how are you making your student's loan repayment? Do you get it? And
All
so,
right.
like, your story is like this. You got I think you got a scholarship from the school of 12,000, and then you got Empower loan of a certain amount, and then you have personal funds of 12,000. And so the remaining then you come to say that with the student's loan, I'm expected to make a monthly loan repayment of $600. However, I have gotten a steady leave with pay with my current company on a certain terms and conditions. That one, if the visa officer wants to know the terms and conditions, that's fine. They'll ask you later. On a certain terms and conditions, such that I receive 20,000 Ghana cedis every month, which is equivalent to $1,300. Out of these $1,300, I plan to use $500 to make my loan repayment. That sounds more convincing than waiting for the visa officer to ask you, how are you paying your student loan repayment?
Oh, very well noted.
Yeah. Clinton, what's your plan after school?
Okay, so immediately I'm done with my 2-year master's degree program, I'll be coming back to my home country to assume the position of a project manager, which comes with a higher salary with a higher responsibility. I'll be earning between 25 to 30,000 Ghana cedi. I'll also be reuniting with my family and my newly born baby, which I want to be part of her upbringing. I'll also be coming back to continue with my mentorship and my doing assessing at my voluntary organization, and then also be concluding the process of migrating from prospective Rotarian to substantive member of Rotary Club of Accra Dansoman.
Okay, very well noted. I'm approving your visa.
Thank you.
Yeah. Abubakar, are you ready? So today we
Yes,
are
please,
doing
I'm
4
ready.
questions per person. If you have joined the session and you are new, welcome to Excel with Emmy. On this channel, we talk about career, education, and some lifestyle. If these are subjects that are of interest, you don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that you get notified anytime I go live. I do this Monday through Fridays. And so do subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be interviewed, I've pinned a link in the comment section on YouTube. And so click on that link to get in the StreamYard link, and I'll admit you in due time. Abubakar, are you ready?
Yes, please, I'm ready.
Okay. Tell me about your funding.
Fortunately for me, I've been awarded the Geographical Enhancement Award from Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, which covers almost all my tuition. Additionally, my brother, in the person of Richmond Ofosu Apple, will cover the remaining deficit. He's the CEO of Siemens Engines and Construction.
The remaining deficit of how much?
The remaining deficit of 26,000 US dollars will be covered by my brother in the person of Richmond Ofosu Afo. He is the CEO of Siemens Engines and Construction. He is into the exportation of aluminium and copper scraps to India. His company has been running for the past 10 years. This is not going to be his first time of sponsoring someone. He sponsored my sister to pursue her master's in communication at York
How much
University.
does your brother earn? Did you say it?
My brother earns 110,000 US dollars
So
every
how much
month.
your brother earns is very important. You don't want to leave that out. So first of all, your the remaining deficit of 26,000 will be funded for by my brother. My brother makes an annual income of this. Then you can go ahead to talk about all of the other things you want to talk about.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, because I'm trying to assess if your brother is in the better capacity to sponsor you. So whether he sponsored
Yeah.
someone before, I really don't care until I know how much he's earning. And then I have to make the assessment that is it sufficient to fund your deficit.
Yeah, right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Okay, can you take it again?
Fortunately for me, I've secured a partial scholarship from Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, which covers almost all my tuition. Additionally, my brother, in a person of Richmond Ofosu Apo, will cover the remaining deficit, which is 26,000 US dollars. He's the CEO of Cement Engines and Construction, and his annual income is
We are not hearing from you, Abubakar. Are you there? Ruth, are you there? Ruth,
Yeah, I'm here, ma'am.
yeah, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you. Good
All
evening.
right,
And you?
Ruth, tell me, I'm doing good. Tell me about your funding story.
I was able to secure 2000 USD assistance from graduate department of my school.
How much?
Then personally, 2000 USD as graduate assistantship from my school. Also, I have a personal
I would
savings
say
of
that the
30 million
2000
naira.
is much more of a merit-based scholarship than a graduate assistantship. No graduate assistantship is worth $2,000. So you want to say that you were able to get a scholarship of $2,000 from your school?
Yes,
Okay.
it's a scholarship.
Yeah. So
Actually, it's part of what I want to ask before I will start the interview, because I currently went for my interview and I was denied. That was last month. So presently, I'm planning to go for another one. So
all
I
right. What
want to
has
know
changed since your last time?
the difference between deficit, because I didn't actually know what my deficit is, but I know my cost of attendance.
How
So
much is
I guess
the cost
I
of
couldn't
attendance?
present that. My cost of attendance is 36,900.
And how much scholarship did you get from the school?
I got 2,000
So your
scholarship.
deficit is 54,000.
Yes.
Yeah. So your deficit is the amount you didn't get scholarship for, which includes your living expenses and your miscellaneous expenses. So what amount of money are you supposed to look for other funding to fix? So in this case, your cost of attendance is 56,000. Your deficit is 54,000. Now,
Okay.
what has changed since your last interview?
Yeah, I was able to secure a 2,000 scholarship from my
It
school.
doesn't make any
And
difference.
also,
If you are telling me that has changed, I'm still denying your visa.
okay.
Imagine 56,000 and you're telling me that what has changed is you have gotten 2,000 scholarship. That is not
All
enough.
right.
So don't bring that up. What
Okay,
has
ma'am.
changed since your last
Oh,
interview?
for my last scholarship, being my first time of attending the interview, I was nervous. So anxiety came in, so I couldn't have the guts to do my presentation very well. So that was why I came back.
So you believe you what has changed since your last interview? I believe that after reassessing myself, I was not able to express I was not able to articulate my point why I should be giving the F1 visa very well the last time I came. But in this time, I'm very much ready to be able to answer every question to get my visa approved. Something like that.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but if you say you are nervous, I don't think that's a good reason either. Okay. So maybe you want to say that the
Okay.
last time you were not able to articulate your point very well. That one, if you were not
Okay.
able to articulate your point very well, whether you were nervous or you're not nervous, we can't tell. But being blatant about saying you were nervous doesn't speak well of you.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what has changed since your last interview?
From my last interview, I couldn't articulate myself very well. So uh defending my points was somehow tense for me. So that was why I came back. Now I'm ready to defend any question that will be asked of
Are
me.
you are not there to defend yourself, answering the questions. So now you are there to answer
Okay.
the questions very well. Or
Very
you are
well.
there to answer the question constructively.
Okay.
Yeah, you are not there to defend yourself. Okay, who is funding your studies?
Uh, I have a savings of 30,000, which is from my personal savings in which
thirty
I've saved
thousand
for the
dollars
past
or
9 years.
naira?
30 million naira, sorry, 30 million naira
Equivalent
with
to
the
how
company
much dollars?
cooperative, equivalent to 19,000 USD, and my lovely husband will be covering the remaining deficits of, that's how much now? You said it's 54, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my husband will be covering the remaining 40, no, 35. Let me say 35. Though I've not really do the calculation.
All right. Make sure you do the calculation because it helps you defend whatever funding you have. Also, you
All
want
right.
to state the amount of dollars, amount of. If you state the naira, you are stating the dollars too. If you state the dollar, you don't need to state the naira. So it depends on which one you actually want to go for. Are you stating the dollar and leaving the naira, or are you stating naira and the dollar? You have to decide for that.
I'm stating the two. I'll be
Okay.
stating the two.
Okay. All right.
Over
What's your plan
the
after school?
sorry, excuse.
What's your plan after school?
All right. My plan was to come back to Nigeria and take a position of head of logistics in my department, whereby I will be able to implement all the knowledge I've gained from WPI to eradicate all the SAP error that we do encounter anytime we want to create a new trip for our drivers. And also, I plan to implement a sophisticated AI tracking device in which I will be able to use it to clear all the unaccountability of, sorry, in which I'll be able to use it to eradicate the
Your first
inaccurate
point was very
accountability.
good. So if you don't have any tangible points at the end, just give the first point and you should be good.
Okay.
My only problem with you is
Okay.
you have a huge deficit, but you were not able to convince me about your funding. You said your lovely husband will be sponsoring you, and I don't remember the amount of money he's making that he's able to sponsor you.
Yeah. Can I take that again, please? Because
Yeah.
that was the last question the VO asked me before I was denied.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been able to save up to 30 million naira, which is equivalent to 19,000 USD over the 9 years of me being working with Dangote Cement Company with the company cooperative. And my lovely husband, who is into a business of Dangote distribution of product distribution, sorry, products in cement, flour, and sugar. As for
So state
warehouses,
how much your lovely husband is earning before you describe it. Please, before you join the live session, if I give a feedback to somebody, it applies to you. That's why you're on the session. Pay attention, pick the
okay,
tidbits by before you join. Even just today, I've given this feedback to everybody. If you are talking about somebody funding you, I don't care about what the person does until I know how much they are using to sponsor you.
person
That
earns.
way, you know how much the visa officer is looking for to make your visa approved. Because the visa officer
Okay,
might not know Dangote Cement, even though Dangote is a very huge brand. He might not know the amount of money people get from cement distribution. You have to tell him how much the person is making.
noted.
Ruth, take the question again. That's your last question.
Okay.
How are you funding your studies?
I'll be funding my studies from my personal savings, which I've been able to save up to 30 million naira, which is equivalent to 19,000 USD with the company cooperative for the past 9 years. And my lovely husband, who is into a business of Dangote product distribution, and his monthly product ranges between 40 million naira to 70 million naira monthly, will be supporting my education. He has 4 warehouses in Ogun State,
So his monthly
Oyo
product
State.
distribution is 40 million naira. How much is he making? Because he's not using everything in his business to sponsor you. How much does your husband make? It looks like Roots, you don't know how much your husband is making right now. And so yeah,
No, it ranges between 40 million
you
naira
said
to 70 million
you
naira.
didn't say his annual income. If Yakubu and K could defend me, you didn't say his annual income. You said his monthly product distribution. We are looking at annual income. If you say product distribution, we don't know. if that's money he's using to run his business or something, and you have a huge deficit. So when they ask you who is funding your studies, you should be the one to convince the visa officer. And I understand why on your last interview, when you answered that question, they denied you, because you are not like $52,000 is a lot of money, and you are not able to convince me that if I grant you the visa, this person is going to pay this person is going to pay this. I won't grant you the visa. I'm not going to lie to
Okay.
you that, okay, I'm approving your visa when the story is not convincing. Like, I'm not here to lie to anybody. If it's good, I'm like, oh, your story sound good. I don't have any feedback. But if there is feedback, I try to give the feedback so you can work on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so Ruth, go and work on your funding story. Like, it's not convincing and it doesn't seem like you know what you're saying. You have a 52,000 scholarship, you saved 19,000. The remaining of maybe that will be left to 39,000 or 40,000. I don't even know. The remaining of this amount will be funded by my lovely husband, who makes an annual income of this amount. My husband is into the distribution of cement manufacturing and all of that. And I'm assured of his continuous support while I'm in school, because this degree is going to help me attain the necessary skills to come back to my home country to take up the role of this position. If you say something like this, even though that's a huge deficit, the visa officer will give it a second thought. Mind you, you are there to
Okay.
convince the person, not to tell him just anything for them to. They are also trying to do their job by protecting their country. So be mindful of how you are telling your funding story. Yakubu, are you ready?
All right.
Yes, I'm
Thank
ready.
you.
Yeah. How are you doing today?
I'm good on yourself.
I'm good. How are you funding your studies?
I'm fortunate enough to be granted a $12,500 scholarship from the University of Bridgeport. And my father, who earns an annual income of averagely $150,000, will take care of my 44,000 deficit. He's an entrepreneur who owns his own enterprise, where he deals in the importation and sale of car parts for more than a decade.
What's your plan after school?
After studying in the United States, I plan to use my knowledge in programming to enhance my father's business by creating a website which is going to make the sale and sale of his goods easily, and also use my knowledge in network security to create a secure network for his business, which I believe is going to enhance customer trust.
Okay, why did you choose this program?
I chose this program because I've been passionate to become a network engineer, and this program is going to provide essential skills and deep understanding in computer science, specifically networking, which will help me get the essential skills and deep understanding in network security to become a successful network engineer when I return to Ghana.
Convince me to approve your visa.
My dad's business is my topmost priority, and the approval of this visa will grant me entry into the United States, where I'm going to acquire the essential skills and deep understanding in computer science, specifically networking, which is going to help me return home as a network engineer to enhance his business.
All right, yeah. Yakubu, I do like your answers, but your rate of speech is very fast, so you just want to slow down. You have
Okay.
your last sponsorship letter, you have his bank statement, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You are going for bachelor's degree, right? Do you have
Yes.
bachelor's degree prior to this?
No.
Okay. So which year did you finish high school?
2020.
So why the 4-year gap?
In 2020, due to the pandemic, schools were closed down, so everything I returned in 2021. So I used 1 year to prepare for SAT, which I wrote in 2022. So after the SAT, I started my application and looking for a date, for the appointment date, and unfortunately, I couldn't get the date. So I enrolled in IPMC to study computer and plus, which is somehow related to networking, to provide essential skills and deep understanding before I go for the bachelor's degree in the United States.
All right.
And
So I want give me a pause. So you did IPMC, right? As
yes,
a visa officer, sometimes we have to treat these visa officers like they don't know what's happening in our country. They don't know
okay,
IPMC. I know that it's an
mhm,
IT school, but they might not know. So you
okay,
enrolled in an IT school, or
yes,
college called
yes,
IPMC in Accra, right?
yes,
Yeah. So it's not
yes,
like there was a gap year where you were not doing anything. You have done courses related to the program you are going to study. So you want
yes.
to articulate that very well and then come across nicer. Yeah. Yakubu, do you have any questions for me?
No, no.
Okay. 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 So just that the IPMC, the person might not know IPMC, make sure that
Mm,
You are like explaining IPMC.
Okay, okay, okay,
Yeah. Okay, how
okay.
are you doing?
Yeah, hello, Emmy. I'm doing well.
Okay. What's your plan after school?
So, after successful completion of my studies, I plan to return back to Ghana to pursue a role as a biomedical engineer and a rehabilitation specialist at the Orthopedic Training Center, where I will be helping the biomedical engineers to advance in rehabilitative technology by building advanced prosthetic devices and orthotic devices for persons with disabilities.
What's your plan after how are you funding your studies?
So, due to my prior academic achievements, I've been awarded the George Washington's Dean Scholarship. That is called 50% of my tuition and is valued at 19,170. The rest of my deficits will be covered by my dad, Mr. Ernesto Say. He's a civil engineer at Consa Limited, a construction company. He also
The
owns
rest
his
of your
own
deficit, which is how much?
41
Mm.
or $41,000 to be covered by my dad, Mr. Ernesto Say, who's a civil engineer at Consa Limited, a construction company. He also owns his own engineering firm, Center Gold, where they deal with the fabrication and installation of aluminum and glass doors. He earns an annual income of $120,000 and has been responsible for funding my education and that of my little sister. He has also sponsored my cousin to pursue his MBA
Who
in
is this
accounting.
person? Your uncle or your father?
My father, my dad, yes.
Okay.
He has also sponsored my cousin to pursue his MBA at the Grenoble School of Management in France. That was at 2020. And now he's back pursuing, and now he's back and is pursuing a role as a chartered
All right,
accountant
Kay,
at
tell me
UBA.
about your program.
So the Masters in Biomedical Engineering program is a interdisciplinary field which combines aspects of biology, engineering, and medicine. It's a 30 credit course where thesis-based students such as myself will be taking 15 credits in core courses, 6 in thesis, and 9 in um, 9 in other courses. I'll be specializing in rehabilitation engineering, and I'll be taking courses like assistive robotics, advanced prosthetic design, and this will give me the knowledge and skill to come back, contribute to helping persons with disabilities by um
I think the stories are very long that you lose your thread of thought. So
yeah,
you want to cut your story short and concise, but you still want to give that much information. Okay.
yes please.
Okay. Do you have any family in the US?
No, I all my family are here in Ghana. I'm actually the firstborn, and my dad is very excited to sponsor me as he sees this as an investment in me and an investment in the family as well.
Okay. So who helped you pay your service fee?
So since I'm a research and teaching assistant at the university, I made my supervisor know of my plans to study, and then he had fellow professors in the US and they helped me pay my service fee.
Okay. Yeah. I think we're good. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes, I do actually.
Okay.
So um I think I've been seeing some I've been doing other mocks, and then since my course is an engineering course, uh this I'm being advised to, how should I say it? Say I'm working with a professor, right, to give my story more weight. So I'll be
But you
working with
said
this.
you are currently working with a professor, or that was a lie.
No, that is like what I'm doing now. I'm a research and teaching assistant
Mm-hmm.
here at KUST.
Okay.
Yes. But like at in the US, right? So like I'm doing this and I'll be working with this professor in this research, like to make my story heavy. But then what if it goes the other way and they're like, if so, if you are going to be working with this professor,
What's the name
why
of the
is
professor?
Professor Chang Park. He is actually into rehabilitation.
Are you going to work with him?
No, not quite. No.
Okay, so you said how much deficit? What's your cost of attendance?
Six. Yeah, 68,970,
And
and then
what's
I got the scholarship of 19,170. So then my deficit is
So
41.
if you say you are working with a professor, more or less, you are supposed to be getting a stipend or an assistantship, but on your
Yes.
identity, the person cannot trace any assistantship, right? They just trace
Uh,
the scholarship. So you want to be mindful of the story you are telling. What if you are
okay.
working with a professor and this officer is a very seasoned one that knows that if you are working with a professor, maybe as an engineering student, then some amount of money is coming in, but they can't see the man, they can tell that you are lying.
Okay. Okay.
Which part did they tell you to use that story?
In the beginning, so like where, as in where are you going to? I'm going to, like, I will stay where I'm going to, and I'll state the course I'm going to do. So with a concentration in this, and I said I'll be working with this professor in doing this and that.
In order for you not to sound like you are lying, you know this Professor Chan or who you reached out to
Yes.
during your application process, right?
Yes.
And what was his feedback?
So his feedback was that um, they currently can't give assistantships to master's students in the first year. They can only give it in the like ensuing semester because they have to see our our performance in the first semester. So they can't directly give it to us in the first when we come, but they have to wait and see our performance before they are able to accept us into their lab and give us the assistance.
Yeah. So like maybe someone has gone to this school, this visa officer with the same school saying that my school don't give funding in the first year, da da da. I mean the visa officer cannot tell, but like I like the fact that you are asking me what if he is able to tell, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you can say that
So
well you are still you are in contact with Professor Chan who is a prospective supervisor. Prospective means that you guys are in communication, but he might probably be your supervisor.
okay. And that doesn't and are you sure that won't bring the question of why isn't he funding you or anything like that?
No, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Delta, are you ready? Delta has always been joining. You call him 3 times. If I drop you today, I'm not adding you again, Delta, because I really want to leave this live today on time. Delta, are you ready? Adjoa, are you ready?
Yes, please, I'm ready.
How are you doing
Good
today?
evening. I'm
I'm good.
fine. And
I'm good. Adjoa, what's your funding story?
I've been awarded a competitive scholarship of 8,344 US dollars, which has reduced my tuition fee by 53%. And my deficit of 20,002 US dollars will be covered by my elder brother in the person of AK. He's a clinical pharmacist and the CEO of Ali Pharmacy. He makes an annual income of 60,000 US dollars, and he's sponsoring because he wants me to gain advanced business and health administrative skills to come and assist him in the management of and running of the operations of his clinic.
Adjoa, what's your plan after school?
Upon successful completion of my Master's in Business Administration and Management program with a concentration in healthcare administration, I'll return to Ghana with the skills, knowledge, and experience that I have gained to take up the role of a clinic manager at Ali Pharmacy, a pharmaceutical company owned by my elder brother, which is being expanded to include a clinic. I'll be responsible for the overall operation and management of the clinic.
So I think yesterday we gave you something more or less like you're coming back to help your brother. So can you make it more impactful? What research did you do into that?
Okay. I said like, I think the question that I was asked was why this program. And so I said that I was doing this program to equip myself with advanced skills, knowledge, and experience, such as strategic management skills, healthcare regulation skills, to come back and assist my brother in the management of his clinic. And my undergraduate degree in nursing, where I took courses like management of health institution, leadership studies, together with my job role as a nurse, where I supervise junior staff and coordinate care with health personnel, have given me a good foundation in management and in leadership. And so I'll be building on these skills to gain more advanced skills to take up this role. That is what I've thought.
Okay. Aja, convince me to approve your visa. That's your last question for today.
Okay. Approving this visa will enable me travel to the United States of America, particularly to Lamar University, located in Beaumont, Texas, to pursue a 2-year full-time master's in business administration and management program with a concentration in healthcare administration, to equip myself with advanced business and health administrative skills, such as strategic management and health care regulation skills, to come back to Ghana and assist my brother in the management and running of the operations of the clinic. I'll be building on my undergraduate I'll be building on the skills I have gained through my undergraduate degree as a nurse and my job role, and gaining more advanced skills to assist him diligently in the management of the clinic.
All right. Aja, I think you are good. Do you have any questions?
No, okay. Um, my my interview, like from the day of my interview to the day I'm supposed to like get to the US, is just 10 days. So in case I'm asked if I have made any travel plan or what preparation I've made, in that case, what do I say?
So if your visa is approved, you quickly book your flights in the next 2 days.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then accommodation and the rest.
We are already in contact with your DSO, and they've stated that due to the planned late arrival of international students, there's accommodation available for you.
Okay, okay,
Right? That sounds better. You've been in contact with the DSO, and they've anticipated late arrivals of international students due to visa processing times. So your DSO has assured you of student accommodation that has been reserved for late arrivals.
okay, okay, please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no
But I
problem.
want to know if now my story is okay. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's your story was never bad. Like, it's just that sometimes if somebody sponsors you, it's just different. So it's not like the story can be bad, but depending on which visa officer. One lady was denied, and what she told me is that she met a visa officer that everybody's saying once the person hears loans, like they won't even listen to your story, right? So we just pray that you get a visa officer that's more considerate. That's all.
okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
no problem. Jay, are you ready?
Hello.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. I'm not actually here for interview.
Okay, do you have any
I was
questions?
approved yesterday.
Oh, wait. What was your, so it's good that you are here. What was your funding story?
Uh, it
Congratulations.
was it was
That's
quite
the
quite
first.
an experience.
Yeah, so I think I would love that you
You
share
said?
your I would love that you share your experience with us in the next 8 minutes or 6 minutes. So like I'm going to ask you like how it went. So first of all, what's your funding story?
Okay, my funding story goes thus. I had a funding of about 22,000 from 32,000. So can you hear me?
Yeah, you had a fund of 22,000 from where?
From a cost of attendance of 32,000.
Okay.
So I had a deficit of 10,100 and something.
Mm-hmm.
So what I realized was that the person that interviewed me was particular about funding because she was going for PhD and she got him.
Who was going for PhD?
She was
Who? The person that
a lady, and she was approved.
are you using a earphone?
No,
Yeah, your sound is echoing. That's why we find it hard to hear you. But it feels
okay. Can you give me like 3 4 minutes
okay,
to
sure.
come up again?
Okay, sure.
Uh,
I'll let you be on the call so that I don't miss you. Yeah, it will be good that people hear about your experience. So Dre was joining the session sometimes, so I thought he was even here to still interview, but he got his visa approved. So we are going to hear from Dre in the next maybe 2 to 3 minutes. He will share his experience and what he thinks if you go you should do. So which will be helpful, right? Testimony, are you ready?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm
Delta.
fine, ma'am.
Like you join and I'll call you and you not and then you be putting in the comment section, can I be interviewed? Can I be interviewed? How are you funding your studies?
Okay, I received a competitive scholarship of $37,000, which reduced my tuition by 97%, and my deficit will be covered by my lovely father, Mr. Ojogbenga. Is a businessman and an entrepreneur. He earns 100 million annually from this by importing and selling of heavy farm truck and construction machines such as tractor, paver, and also forklift. He also has four short-let houses in Lagos, which he earns 80 million annually from this. Due to his passion for quality and good education, he has sponsored my sister to the United Kingdom, specifically University of Leicester, to pursue a master's degree in accounting, and now she's back working for UBA Bank as an accountant. I'm happy and excited he will be sponsoring me too.
Testimony, what's your plan after school?
Okay, on completion of my program, I'll come back to Nigeria to first of all take the NYSC program, then get a license from Nursery and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, where I will have the legal rights to take up to where I will have the legal rights to work as a male registered nurse at Lagos State General Hospital, where I currently intern as a nurse assistant. Here, I will have the opportunity to learn with experienced doctors and also professionals, where we'll be able to administer more advanced medical care, and also which will help in advancing the healthcare delivery of my community, and especially the healthcare delivery of Nigeria. And also, my long-term goal is actually to create a non-governmental hospital healthcare center in my community, which will help the less privileged to get access to the hospital easily.
Emmanuel, sorry, testimony. Your rate of speech, I've always given you that feedback. You need to slow down. You are having a lot of good points, but if you are rushing through, you already have a thick accent. So the visa officer might not hear you. And for me, that's a very big concern because sometimes we speak to people at work over here and they would barely like they would like be like, but they are not actually hearing us, right? And whatever you are saying, they don't hear it. So you don't want that to be your story because the visa interview is a huge part of this process, right? You can't be denied your
Okay,
visa based off your accent. You just need to slow down.
okay, ma'am.
All right.
Okay,
What? Tell me about your program.
okay. I'm going for a 4 year bachelor's degree in nursing, where I'm expected to take a course like
Yeah.
where I'm
So
expected to take
if you are speaking like this, it should be good. Okay.
courses like introductory to nursing, physiology, microbiology, gerontology with a credit score of 12 to 19 per semester. And on completion of my program, I will come back to Nigeria and use the skills and knowledge I gained from the school to work as a male registered nurse at Lagos State General Hospital, where I currently intern as a nurse assistant.
All right. And I think I want to ask you your last question. Um, you said who is funding you?
My dad will be covering my deficit.
Has your dad sponsored anyone before?
Yes, he has sponsored my sister to the United Kingdom for her master's in accounting, and now she's back working for UBA Bank as an accountant.
Okay, I'm approving your visa. Just slow down. You have a lot of good points. You want to slow down, okay?
I think I'm here now.
Okay.
Okay,
Y-
man.
Yeah, Jay. Jay. So Jay
Sorry,
said,
man. Hello.
yeah.
Please, can you ask me this question? Why this course? Because can I ask you?
I. What question did I ask to tell me about your program, right? Hello. 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 Testimony. Are you there? All right, Jay. Can you continue?
All right. So, what I noticed yesterday was like, the person that interviewed me. I think is highly interested in you having funding.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter how little, you must have funding, and your cost of attendance is very key because you can come to them with like 70K deficit, and they are not interested in that story. They want a situation whereby you won't be overburdened. So that on the other side, and as regard the interview in general as well, he was quite interested in your plan after the study.
Mm-hmm.
So because asking what she asked the other girl was quite related to what she asked me, and other people that he attended to, someone got denied today by the same person who happens to be like one of the best VO at the Abuja embassy in Nigeria because he had a listening ear. He was willing to listen to what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this person, when she complained and came to my DM, I heard her story. I saw this transcript and I was like, see, this man will have been so interested in what you have to say if you have funding. And your cost of attendance is too much.
Yeah. So if
So,
people will be honest with me, I've always said that if should like the worst case is your visa is denied and you are reapplying, you want to look at schools with very less cost of attendance. Because there are schools in I know schools in Washington DC that have like total cost of attendance to be 92,000 and they'll give you a scholarship of 42,000. You still have a $50,000 deficit. But if you are going for a school with, let's say, 30,000 cost of attendance and you don't even get funding, you have 30,000 deficit, which is much better than 50,000. Do you get it? So first of all, when you're applying to schools, what you should consider is what is the cost of attendance. And now, after you have considered what is the cost of attendance, you also want to know your sources of funding. Someone came on the call today and the deficit is 52,000. But mind you, she's not even able to convince me. Do you get it? So,
yeah,
and I earlier I think I told this same person that there was someone that was denied a visa and told me that she went to a VO that she has said that this VO, as soon as you have a loan, like she will not even listen to you. And so, like, it's reaffirming what Dre is saying that his visa officer that he met was very much interested in your funding. Most of these visa officers have preconceptions, right? Some of them, or once you have a loan, I'm not listening to your story. Some of them, they are more interested in what is your comeback story. And all of these people are assessing the same thing. That's why if you have studied, I'm even saying 4 questions for today, but each and every one of you have asked you what is your plan after school, because you need to have a plan after
yeah,
that is very solid and impactful. If it's impactful, the assumption is that you come back to pursue this, right? Like if you're coming back to work in your company to take up a promotional role, that sounds much better than telling me that you are coming to establish your own business. We know that once you start looking into establishing your own business, you might not come because there are challenges you might experience. So you want to make sure
yeah,
that your comeback story is very strong and your funding is very strong. Once you've gotten these two correct, maybe depend on the visa officer that you meet. One of the question more some of the questions will be based more on the other than the other. So, like Jay, can you take us through what are some of the questions they asked you?
okay. So, I think there's no way you go to the interview with a crammed transcript. No, it doesn't work. You'll be put off your feet. like if you have anything you have crammed, you get lost. You won't even be able to perform. So the manner at which this person asked me, he asked me like, what will be my, what am I going, and where am I going to in the United States? What am I going there to do?
Mm.
So if it's something that I've crammed, like, okay, I will have missed it because that was my first question. So I was able to mention that, okay, I'm going to a particular school for a particular purpose, which is my MBA. And in the course of this MBA, these are the courses that I will be attending. And upon the completion of these courses, I will gain a practical skills required for me for something back home, which is to take a higher position. So specifically, higher position as a regional supply chain manager at my current workplace. And at the same time, I was able to identify that, okay, while taking a higher position at this is my current workplace, there are problems that needs to be solved. So which are to create a regional distribution channel at my, because my company has an expansion. So in order to cater for a new customer base in the new region that we have expanded to. So as well, in that same question, I was able to plug in uh, my long-term goal. So which is
So, so more or
to
less,
create,
like you said everything of yours in your first question, right?
yeah.
So you plugged in your comeback story. You
I
plugged
I didn't even, if I had crammed anything, I will get lost. So I answered where I'm going. I answered it's just like, okay, why are you here? So I answered that aspect. I plug in my comeback story. I plug in the problem that I'll be solving while I'm coming, while when I come back, and my future and the present goals. So and the next question was like, okay, uh, am I married?
mm,
So I said no. He said, do I have anyone in the United States? So I said to him like, no, I don't have anyone in the United States. That my parents, my siblings, and my loved ones, they are all here in Nigeria. So and he asked me if I have kids. I say none. So then later on, he now still asked me, what do I intend to do after this MBA? So which
mm,
was something that I mentioned in the first question, like I plugged it into the answer of the first question. And at the same time, by the time I was able to repeat the same thing, I think he got it that, okay, I know what I was coming to do genuinely. So, and he asked about my funding. So the way he asked about my funding, he didn't even ask like he saw that, okay, I have graduate assistantship. So it was so like, okay, I have a cost of attendance of 32,000 or something. That how am I going to cater for it? So I had to make the reference to it. That's okay. I have been able to secure a graduate assistantship, and my deficit will be covered by my father. I mentioned the person, and immediately the next line was the amount this person earns. So, and I made sure that I mentioned that by conversion into the dollar, because I don't even want, he has to be aware that, okay, he's not, okay, naira. I help the situation for him, like, okay, by conversion, this is it by in dollar. So, and I mentioned that, okay, he is, then I proceeded to the point whereby I mentioned that,
yeah.
okay,
So Dre, you
this person
remember
is,
you came? I think it was a Friday. It was my last session of the week, and then you
yeah,
stated
yeah,
the amount in naira. And then I asked you that, can you state it in dollars? And you were like, oh, I've joined the mock section, and they said I should state the amount in naira. So we went
yeah,
online to search, should you state your amount in dollar or you should state it in naira? And they said that to give more perspective to the visa officer, it's advisable to state it in dollars. And so we came up with a plan that you say in the naira and say it's equivalent to the dollar,
yeah.
correct?
And it will make your story to be different,
So
because
if
not everybody
I've
will,
always been saying it. I think I find this problem more with the Nigerians that come on the channel. And I don't know, for some of the mock sessions you guys join, if they tell you something, you guys don't want to listen to any other thing again. I basically told Dre that you have to state the amount in dollars. And he's like, oh, I joined this mock session. They said I should state it in naira. I was like, okay, let's go online to check. And from his experience, he's gone and he's gotten his visa approved. Dre, would you advise someone to state their money in dollars or in naira? or cities? Now advise people because you have your
I
visa.
will I will advise that the moment you need to be very quick in that regard. So the moment you are mentioning it in your local currency, just help the person by mentioning that by conversion, this is it in dollars, straight up. So this will give them a sense of okay, you actually know what you are saying and you have done your homework before coming.
Yeah, I think Jay, my other point to you is when you came on the channel for the first time, you had plenty sources of funding, and I asked you like break down your sources of funding, and you said this. I was like, I think that that's too much sources of funding,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you said that you were told in your other mock session that if you have plenty sources of funding, it helps you. And I remember saying that if you have plenty sources of funding, it's like you are trying to pick small money. Charlie, I don't have money, but I want to go to the US. Help me, help me. So you get a lot of people to sponsor you. So how did that play out? How did you answer
It's
that
it's
question?
not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
I'm glad.
So
I'm glad you've gotten your visa approved and you really joined the session again. Thank you so much for joining.
all right,
Because
all right.
sometimes when people come on the session and you are trying to correct them, maybe I don't know, maybe because I'm not so harsh on the session, because some of the mock sessions I join them, I don't talk because it's not my session. And they are very harsh. Don't say this, don't say this. So you people get convinced that what they are telling you is the truth. So I'm glad that Jay joined back, and then everything that I'm telling him played out very nicely for him. With a deficit, he still got his visa approved, which is a very good story, right? So how many sources of funding did you use when you went?
Shimi?
Yeah.
Okay, what I did was I on my I-20 I have it as family sponsor and self-sponsor. So I didn't make it too lengthy. I was so specific that okay, my source of funding is coming from my father and he earns this amount and he has been working as this person with this industry for the past also years, and also is the owner of this particular business that generates rental income. So I just helped the point with by creating like two major source for my father. And in addition to that, I mentioned that I have amassed some amount of millions from my 5 years working experience, 5 years working salary, which I have saved, and I'll be committing it to my living expenses. So it was like okay, I wasn't trying to cook a story that wasn't in existence.
Okay.
So, like you mentioned, looking for sources of funding like my father, my mother, my brother, myself, they don't have that time.
They don't have that time. They really don't. Yeah. So
So
what other
they don't
point?
have that time, and you need to be very like they don't want to hear your father has been a nice father for the past clinical year. No, the essence of why they're asking you that question is what is the most important thing. They're asking you because they want to know do you have financial backing. So, and in your defense, you should be able to be like, I surely do. I have this person, this is the name, and he earns this amount, and this is what he does, and these are so it's like this name, the money, where they are generating the money from. That's the three key aspects to it whenever you want to defend your source of funding. And if you have been working for years, you are expected to have something to commit.
Mm-hmm.
So which was that was my experience. And after that, he was like, okay, I should just that this letter will guide me on how I will pick up my passport.
Okay.
So I was asked like 4 questions.
Mm,
So that was it.
thank you so much for
So
joining.
and yeah, yeah, like I mentioned, please do not cram anything. Just understand your story
Okay. Yeah.
because the tension there is not people.
It's
You will
not.
just be seeing people being rejected and all, and you might lose your composure. So don't
Yeah.
cram. Understand your story and present it appropriately.
Right.
So
Okay.
thank you, Sele.
So
Like
much.
you were such an helpful person in my own journey too. So I'm grateful to that.
No problem. Thank you so much for joining back. To some people, too, if they
You're
don't
welcome.
about they are
All
all
right.
of a sudden very busy to come and share their experience, but you did. I really
All right.
appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
So
you're welcome. Thank you.
now there you are preparing to come to the US, right?
Pardon?
I said now you are preparing to come to the US.
Yeah, I'm preparing to book my flight as soon as possible and be there.
Okay. Okay. Good for you. I'm happy for you.
All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Emanuela, how are you doing?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good, and you?
I'm good. Emanuela, how are you funding your studies?
Okay, so I have a graduate assistantship that fully caters for my tuition, and it gives me a monthly stipend to cover my living
Can you
expenses.
speak louder a little bit?
I'm coming, let me remove, I'm using earbuds, let me take it off.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, very clear.
Yes. So I have a graduate assistantship that fully caters for my tuition and gives me a monthly stipend to cover my living expenses. I have a deficit of about $2,500 that's going to be covered by my uncle. I don't want to mention the name, but
Okay.
he is a CEO and an electrical engineer of Programs Construction Limited and earns an annual income of about $200,000.
Okay. Emanuela, what program are you going to study?
I'm going to study a PhD in electrical engineering at the University of North Dakota.
Okay. Why did you choose this program?
I chose this program specifically because of my research interest, which is IoT and artificial intelligence. I am currently an electrical engineering graduate, and I've been researching of ways of integrating IoT and artificial intelligence into electronic appliances to be used in the Ghanaian home to optimize energy usage to avoid the instances of doomsday and the likes in Ghana. At UND, I'll be studying under the tutelage of Professor Abdel Hadi, who is willing and is going to mentor me during my studies to make sure that the knowledge and the skills I gain would help me come back to Ghana to be a renowned IoT expert and lead young engineers, specifically women in STEM, to make sure that Ghana becomes smarter in the next 5 to 10 years. Sorry.
All right. Emanuela, what's your plan after school?
My plan after school, ultimately, I want to be a professor back at Ashesi University to nurture young engineers, specifically women in STEM, towards a brighter future. Additionally, I seek to form a startup company that deals in smart homes and smart grids so that while I'm in the classroom giving a theoretical aspect, I can give these young engineers the opportunity to also learn the practical experience through internships and the likes with the hopes of with the hopes of ensuring that Ghana is smarter in the next 5 to 10 years.
Okay. Emanuela, when is your visa interview?
Uh, Next week. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know a lot of people from Ashesi. I was a Mastercard scholarship funded scholarship program. I was a scholar.
Oh,
So if you get your visa approved, I can connect you with people in the US. That would be of help. Okay. Do you have my number?
no, I don't.
Okay, so I'll share my WhatsApp group, and then you should be able to get my number from that. Just let
Okay.
me know once your visa is approved.
Yes.
Um,
Well, how did I feel? I was a bit nervous. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
trying to.
I think your answers are very good. I didn't feel any nervousness and you feel prepared. So I didn't really have any feedback for you because even your comeback story is very impactful. You almost have a full funding with just a deficit of 2,000. I don't know why you
Yeah.
didn't use your dad as the funder for your $2,000, but rather your uncle. But that's also a decision for you to make, right? Um,
Yeah.
because even if you didn't, if you even if the person on your as your dad on your I-20 DS160 doesn't
On
have the same name as you,
on
that's fine.
my I-20, it's a family sponsor, so I don't think it might really. But then on the DS, it's the person. But I have a letter. from the person. So
Okay, $2,000 is not money, so like it's not a huge deficit that we can say an uncle cannot fund. So that's fine. Yeah,
okay,
and you
okay,
have monthly stipend and all of that. So even if the person withdraws their financial support, you'll be able to use that to like fund for yourself. And then when I ask you like tell me about your program, you are coming to work with a professor, which I don't have any feedback, but tell me about your program because I know people with. So I'm going to treat you like you have full funding, right? People with full funding, I think most of the people that have sent me their transcripts when they are approved, their question is, why are you here? So I'm here to secure an F1 visa to go study electrical engineering at North Dakota University. Why the US? I chose the US because then you share why you chose the US. And it was like, what's your plan after school? Because now the story is not more about your funding anymore. It's about what are you like? Are you going to leave the US after school? Especially after PhD, people don't go back because they stayed here for 5 years and they know the system very well. So you want to get a very solid plan after school. And I like the fact that you mentioned it was something impactful that you mentioned, which I don't remember. So like I think the stories are good.
okay, okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So I just dropped the link to my WhatsApp. If you want to reach out to me, um, in case you are ready to come, and I'll connect you with maybe one or two people from Ashesi too. Even
Okay,
if one person, they can actually connect you to the people that will help you during your program of study.
okay. Thank you very much.
No problem. Do you have any questions?
Not currently.
Okay, sure. Okay. Ade Kemi, are you ready?
Yes, good
Yeah.
evening.
What's your plan after school? Let's be fast. I want to leave.
Okay, after school, I plan to go back to Nigeria to work as a registered nurse because I would have uh, acquired all the necessary skills and competency that are required for me to function as a registered nurse in Nigeria. And also, this will give me the opportunity to reunite with my husband, who is unable to relocate with me to the UK.
Uh, you said you I heard relocate something. Can you take that again?
Yeah, I said after schooling in the US, I will be relocating back to Nigeria to work as a registered nurse because the program or the studies must have equipped me with the necessary skills and competency that are required to work as a nurse. And this will also uh, allow me to be able to reunite with my husband, which that is in Nigeria, because he's not able to move with me to the UK due to his work commitments.
Okay, so why what role is this last part playing in the question I asked you?
Like home
No role at all. Like you know what it told me? It told me you have an immigrant intent, and that the purpose of an F1 visa is that is a non-immigrant intent visa that helps you to go to the United States to study. So if you are planning to relocate to the UK, we know a lot of people go to the UK because they don't have access to the US. And so if you are telling me that you have not been able to relocate to the UK, then it means you might relocate to the US. So that sentence in itself like played zero role in your answer.
I am in the UK.
Oh, you are the one?
Yes, I live
I
in
thought
the UK.
I thought you went for your visa interview already.
No, next week.
So you are the one that said you plan to relocate to Nigeria.
Yes.
I don't know. I still don't feel convinced about telling me you are in the UK, you relocate to Nigeria. Because I think I told you about someone who stayed in Ghana as a Nigerian, and she said she was after school she was going to come back to work with a Nigerian branch of her company in Ghana. And the
Mm,
visa officer is like, why are you not working with them now? So my question to you is, why are you not working in Nigeria now? So in my opinion, I'm thinking that it will be best to say you'll be going back to the UK. Have you
mm.
thought about that?
Yes, actually, but the I think the issue here is that considering the fact that I'm on a work visa here, so if I should eventually leave, it means that coming back, I will still need a work visa to come back. But if I want to go back to Nigeria,
Mm,
I don't need a visa to go back to Nigeria. So that
that's a very good question. That was a very good point that you can emphasize on. Um, so you what was that? What's your plan after school, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So you can say that currently you had up previously you had opportunity to have an international work experience on the UK work visa, which is currently about to expire. And so you would have to move, or you are planning to move back to Nigeria, but you are checking the Nigerian climate or the industrial climate. You want to come acquire this skills, which is a program that you are coming to study, in order for you to be able to move back to Nigeria and continue your passion or whatever you want to do in Nigeria. So making that was like preamble that your visa is about to expire in the UK and you're planning to move back to Nigeria, but you need this skill, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I think you should say that I've had the opportunity to get or secure an international work experience with a UK visa where I've been to the UK to work for about 2 years. Currently, my opportunity has ended, which means that the work visa has expired, and I'm planning to move back to Nigeria where my husband resides. I'm planning to pursue this program to help me acquire the necessary knowledge and skills that will be able to help me acquire this degree before I move back to Nigeria to take up the role of a nurse in this Lagos State hospital. This is much convincing. It means you have exhausted your options in the UK. You want to move back to Nigeria. You also mentioned that your husband is in Nigeria. So you don't want to say your husband has not been able to relocate with you, but your husband is in Nigeria
Okay,
and you want to get this degree in the US to go back to Nigeria.
okay,
I think, in my opinion, that's the best story that can come to my mind, unless you have something better to say.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I
yeah.
understand.
Ade, how are you funding your studies?
Okay, my husband will be sponsoring me. He works with XYZ He's been working with an XYZ company for the past 10 years, and he earn uh an income of 60,000 US dollars per annum. So
All
it's
right.
going to sponsor.
Ade, your confidence is also very low. I don't feel your confidence. And with someone you are going to defend a very huge transit story, you need to be very confident, okay? Because how confident you speak is going to tell me if you are actually telling the truth or not. For some reason, that's how these white people operate. So if you are sounding very down, I don't think your story will come out as convincing. So make sure that you are confident enough about the story, okay?
All right.
Yeah. So you said your husband is funding you. You stated the amount your husband is earning. He's working with XYZ company. What is your deficit?
About 27,000 US dollars.
Yeah, and your husband makes an annual income of 60,000.
Yes.
How much is on his bank statement?
Um, Around 35,000 US dollars.
Yeah, I think which is more than your deficit, and
Yeah.
he earns more than your deficit. Do you guys have any children? Because
No.
they are, yeah, so that's good because they are going to ask if your husband has any children. It means that out of his annual income that he's using to sponsor you, you guys still have some financial burdens to take care of, which means your husband is not in the sufficient, or if you are assessing how yeah, if you're assessing your funds must be available, your funds must be sufficient and must be credible. So you cannot satisfy the sufficiency of the funds if you have children. Yeah. So
Yes.
and your comeback is to come back to Nigeria. But when they ask you about your comeback, make sure you are taking it from the fact that you've had the opportunity. Don't say you've gone to the UK to work. You've had the opportunity to acquire an international work experience. I'm being particular about my words because your own words can incriminate you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've had the opportunity to acquire an international work experience in the United Kingdom on a 2 years visa, which has expired, and you are moving back to Nigeria. But considering what you want to do in Nigeria, coming for this degree in the US will help you They'll definitely ask you, why didn't you pursue this program in the UK as transfer to a student visa? So you should be able to answer a question like, why the US and not the UK?
Okay, I actually chose the US because the US nursing program offers a comprehensive curriculum that cuts across all specialties, ranging from medical and surgical nursing, pediatric nursing, and the rest, which is not available here in the UK because the UK nursing program only deals with specialization. So I chose the US so that I can make use of this degree when I go back to Nigeria.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I think you should be good once you put together that story, and I like what you just said. So you're good. Do you have any questions?
No, no.
All right, Kwabna, are you ready? Kwabna,
Yes, I'm ready.
yeah,
Yes, please,
Kwabna,
I'm
tell me
ready.
about funding.
My deficit will be funded by my stepfather, who earns about $125,000 annually. He owns several retail shops in Takoradi, Kumasi, and Accra. He also owns rent apartments in
If you say
Kumasi.
several shops in Takrady, Kumasi, and Accra, the visa officer doesn't know Takrady, Kumasi, and Accra. So he owns 3 shops across the country. That's all. Mm? Kwabna, are you speaking? Hello, Kwabna.
Hello,
Yeah. I
hello.
said say your sponsor owns 3 shops across Takrady, Kumasi, and Accra. They are not able to verify if, like, they don't know Takrady, Kumasi, and Accra. So just say they own 3 shops across the country. Kwabna's network is not permitting. Deborah, are you ready?
Sorry, I just
Yes,
disconnected my
please.
phone, so that's why I'm having hiccups in my network.
All
Sorry.
right, so let me take you when I'm done with Deborah, okay?
Okay,
Maybe you
okay,
might have connected properly. Deborah, how are you doing?
okay.
Please, I'm fine, thank you. What about you?
I'm good. Deborah, tell me how you are funding your studies.
Okay, my 2-year master's program in public health will be fully catered for by my stepfather in the person of Mr. Atta, who has been sponsoring me since basic school. He's into importation and distribution of welding materials and building materials and has about 6 branches across the country. He earns a total of $70,000 annually with 36 workers.
Okay, what's your plan after school?
So after school, I will after my 2 years master's program, I'll come back to my home country, Ghana, and to Accra Medical Center where I work as a nurse to take up a higher position as a senior public health officer. To hello,
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
yes,
I'm
yeah,
hearing you.
please, okay, okay. So after my 2 years master's program in public health, I'll come back to my country Ghana to Accra Medical Center where I work as a nurse a to take up a role as a public health officer where I would be formulating health policies and engaging in health education and outreaches to reduce the mortality rate caused by infectious diseases in Ghana.
Okay, so what program are you going to study?
Okay, I'm going to Western Illinois University to pursue a 2 years master's program in public health.
Um, okay, and why this program? Your last question.
Okay. I'm fascinated about public health because during my days as a nurse at the Kolibu Teaching Hospital, I observed a significant increase in cholera cases, which I believe could have been prevented. So the persistent increase in infectious diseases motivated me to pursue this program, specializing in the emergence of these infectious diseases and also proffer solutions to help address these health issues in sub-Saharan Africa. And
Mm.
so after studying this program, I'll come back to
engage in health outreaches and also help spread
Wait,
out
I think
the.
that answer is very long. So you want to be concise. The first part you said is good, but if you can shorten
Okay,
it and then add your second part, that's fine.
okay, yes, sir. Yes, please.
Okay, yeah. Do you have any questions?
No, please. For now,
Okay.
I want to know how well I did.
Yeah, I think your answers for me, I didn't have any like actual feedback, like say this or say this. You just
Okay,
you said everything. So you have a problem you are coming to solve. You're just your answers are just long and you want to like be concise as well.
yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Kwabna, you ready?
Yes, please, I'm ready.
Yeah. So you said who is funding your studies?
My stepfather. My stepfather will be funding my education. He earns about $125,000 annually. He owns this retail shop in sorry, he owns retail shops in he owns this retail shops across the country. Please, can I keep in this?
Okay, I'm listening.
I'm not really going to the interview in my home country. I'm going to a different country for the interview because there are no available dates in my country.
Yeah, it's no
So,
problem.
okay, then I'll take the funding again.
Okay.
Yeah. My deficit will be funded by my stepfather, who earns 125,000 annually from his serving shops
I
across the
can't
country.
really hear you. Can you see that I'm coming closer to my device to hear you? I can't hear you.
Hello.
Hello? Yeah, this is much better.
Okay.
Yeah, what's
Uh,
your plan
my
after school?
education,
Let's be fast. I want to leave by 2:55.
my plan is to return back to my country and deliver the skills and goals. Sorry, my plan is to return back to my home country and leverage the skills and knowledge I gained from my college degree to build a better to build Jesus. The confidence is just not there.
Why is the confidence not there?
Actually, this is my first time doing this.
Okay, so yeah, I understand you perfectly. Kwabna, I want you to write the answers and like write the question like why the school, then you write the answer. What's your plan after school? Then you write the answer, and then when you are done writing, when you are there, you keep memorizing it, right? And then you
Okay.
come join the mock session, you say what you have memorized, and we are like, oh, don't say this. Because nobody is perfect. Everyone you are seeing very eloquent here have joined multiple sessions to put their
Okay.
stories together. So I don't think you should feel like your confidence is just not there. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
When is
Please,
your
can I
interview?
try one last time?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay, 2 weeks you have a lot of time. Yeah. How are you funding your studies?
My studies will be funded by my stepfather. He earns an annual salary of $155,000.
Your sound
He
just
owns.
went down again. Oh my god.
My voice just went down.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay. My education will be funded by my stepfather. He earns an annual salary of $125,000. He owns six retail shops in he owns six retail shops across the country and also several rental apartments in Accra. He is dedicated to sponsoring my education and believes in my potential in using my skills and knowledge that I acquire from my education to solve real world problems. He previously sponsored my senior sister to offer BSc nursing in Alberta University in Canada and is committed to funding my education fully.
All right, so I think that's good. You just need to master the confidence and put it together well. What's your plan after school? Let's do this now.
My plan after school is to return back to my home country and leverage the skills and knowledge I gained from my project and internships to solve real world problems. My first problem I plan to solve is to build and is to develop a robust information system for record keeping, enhance data accessibility in the hospital, which will reduce the wait time that patients use to get their files accessed by the doctors. Also, I plan to develop softwares and AI tools, which is going to manage the risk of investment, plan strategies for marketing, and also improve upon how much to earn
So,
for my
Kwabena, your
investment.
first two stories were good. If it's becoming lengthy, you forget what you want to say. So you want to keep it
Okay.
concise, right? Say the two very well before you go. You can take other ones. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll
Okay.
need you to put together a transcript that will help you memorize your stories, and then you come back. I'm going to do the last session for the week tomorrow, so we can prep it. Okay. So
Okay.
tomorrow,
Okay.
same time, 1 p.m. my time, 8 p.m. Ghana time. If you're Nigeria, I think that'll be about 9 p.m. 7 p.m. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So hopefully I see you tomorrow, and then the story sounds better. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
With
you.
everyone on the call, thank you for joining today. If today is your first time of joining this session, we do mock sessions from Monday through Friday. So you want to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you'll be notified of you'll be notified of the live session. Also, we post other things, not just study abroad. So you want to check them out. And thank you so much for joining. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.